Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Seperti biasa, kita ni akan memulakan sesi pembelajaran kita ni dengan berselawat ke atas Rasulullah SAW selama 2 minit. Terlebih dahulu, kita ni membaca 3 niat penting ini. Yang pertama, kami niatkan selawat kami untuk memenuhi perintah Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Yang kedua, kami niatkan selawat kami untuk memenuhi hak Rasulullah SAW. Dan yang ketiga, kami niatkan selawat kami untuk mendapat syafaat Rasulullah SAW di akhirat kelak. Semoga dengan berselawat, Allah akan membukakan hati dan minda para pelajar untuk menerima ilmu dan memanfaatkan ilmu tersebut di masa akan datang. Disarankan kepada semua pelajar untuk membaca doa di dalam hati selama 2 minit berselawat. Doa untuk kedua orang tua, keluarga, diri sendiri dan apa saja doa yang ingin para pelajar sampaikan. Okay? 2 minutes from now.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد 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 اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد
Doa sebelum belajar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wanshur alaina min hazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Ya Allah, bukakanlah ke atas kami hikmat-hikmatmu dan limpahilah ke atas kami khazanah rahmatmu. Wahai yang maha pemurah lagi maha penyayang.
Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ya Rabbku, lapangkanlah untukku dadaku dan mudahkanlah untukku urusanku dan lepaskanlah kekakuan dari lidahku, supaya mereka mengerti perkataanku.
Amin.
Amin, 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 ya Rabbal Alamin. Today we will discuss topic 2.2.2, Rotational Symmetry and Rotation. So can you please get ready with your notes, page 104 until 107. and your worksheet will be page 101 until 103. Learning objectives. Students should be able to recognize, visualize, and identify 2D rotational symmetry and identify centers of rotation. And secondly, students should be able to rotate polygons on a coordinates grid, all 4 quadrants, after all rotations of 90 degrees or 180 degrees clockwise and anti-clockwise around one of its vertices. Okay, and the steps to success. Steps to success means how students achieve learning objective. First, recognize, visualize, and identify 2D rotational symmetry, and they must know the center of rotation. Secondly, take protractor and ruler in measuring the distance of the object and image from the center, because the distance of the object and image from the center must be equidistant. Okay. First, we're going to discuss about rotational symmetry. Rotational symmetry. The rotational symmetry of a shape is when an object is rotated on its own axis. The shape of the object looks the same. Alright, and order of rotational symmetry. The number of times a figure fits into itself in one complete rotation. I will explain both of these in our next example, okay? For example 7, here we have equilateral triangle, okay? And then please remember that you only need to rotate the figure up to 360 degrees. Once you have rotated the figure 360 degrees, you are back to the original figure, okay? As you can see here, the broken line here, that will be your original figure. And our task here, we need to rotate this equilateral triangle, and we will see how many order of rotational symmetry that this equilateral triangle have. Okay, now let us start now. See, as you can see here, once we rotate, it still fits to its original figure. So here we can say this equilateral triangle already have one order of rotational symmetry, and yet it is not up to 360 degrees. So we rotate again like this, still fit with the original figure, so 2 order of rotational symmetry, and now back to its original figure, and it is 360 degrees. So here we can say this equilateral triangle fits into its original outline, original figure 3 times. Therefore, it has rotational symmetry order of 3. Okay. Okay, next example 8, it is a square. And I repeat myself, you only need to rotate the figure up to 360 degrees. Okay, once you have rotated the figure 360 degrees, you are back to its original figures. Okay, and as you can see, this broken line will be your original outline, original figure. And I already marked X here. Now, let us rotate this square. Okay, now as you can see here, once we rotate, still we have this square fits its original figure. So here we can say this square have a rotational symmetry order 1. Okay, and next, still it fits to its original figure. Next, still we can see this square fits into its original figure, and we already have 3 order of rotational symmetry already. And lastly, 360, it back to its original figure. So this square fits into its original outline 4 times. Therefore, it has a rotational symmetry order of 1. Okay. Next, example 9. Set the order of rotational symmetry of the following figure. Part A, we have equilateral triangle. I already marked X here. Now let us rotate this equilateral triangle. Okay, As you can see here, it fits into its original figure. So we already have one order of rotational symmetry, and we rotate again until it back to its original position. And here it fits into its original figure, so we already have two order of rotational symmetry, and we rotate again, and now it back to its original position. And yes, it fits into its original figure, so we have three order of rotational symmetry. Okay, next B. Now let marks X here. Let us rotate now. As you can see here, it does not fit into original figure, so we cannot consider this as one order of rotational symmetry. No. Okay, now let us try another rotation, and still it does not fit into its original figure, so we cannot say it has one order of rotational symmetry. No. And now it back to its original position, and yes, of course it will fit into its original figure. So here we only have one order of rotational symmetry. And please remember this one. Even this shape have one order of rotational symmetry, but we will see that it has no rotational symmetry. Okay. Therefore, for every shape that have one order of rotational symmetry, we say it has no rotational symmetry. Please remember that one. Next, part C. I will mark pink color for the original position. Now let us rotate. Yes, it fits into original figure. And rotate again. Yes, rotate again. Yes, and now it back to its original position. And here we can see that this shape fits into its original figures 4 times. Therefore, this shape will have 4 order of rotational symmetry. Okay. Part D, this will be the original position. I already marked X here. Now let us rotate and see. It does not fit into its original figure, so we cannot say it has order 1. No. And now this one, yes, it fits into its original figure, so we have one order of rotational symmetry. And rotate again. No. And now it back to its original position. And yes, of course, it fits into its original figure. Therefore, this shape have 2 order of rotational symmetry. Okay, part E, it is a trapezium, and I already marked X here. Now let us rotate, and definitely it will not fit into its original figure. Okay, so just moving on. No, no, and yes, and then it back to its original position. Alright, so for this trapezium, we only have one order of rotational symmetry. Remember, when the shape have one order of rotational symmetry, we consider that shape has no rotational symmetry. Seems like confusing, but if you remember this one, inshallah it will be okay. Alright? Just remember that every shape, any shape that only have one order of rotational symmetry, we consider that shape has no rotational symmetry. Just remember that one. Alright? Next one, F. I mark X here. Now let us rotate. And definitely it not fits into its original figure. So just moving on. Yes, it fits into its original figure, so we already have one order of rotational symmetry. This one, no, and now back to its original position, and it is 360 degrees, okay? Therefore, this shape has two order of rotational symmetry. Okay, last for example 9. Example 9G. Let us rotate this star. And yes, it fits into its original position. So we already have one order of rotational symmetry. Yes, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and now back to its original position. Therefore, this star fits into its original figures 5 times. Therefore, this shape has 5 order of rotational symmetry. Moving on with example 10, shade one more square to make a pattern with rotational symmetry order 2. So, you look at this figure, try to think where you're going to put one more square to make the patterns with rotational symmetry order 2. Okay, and one possible answer is here. Okay, now, the proof is when you rotate this one, this will be the original position. Okay, now once you rotate, okay, for this one it does not fit into its original position, but this one, see, it fits into its original position. So we already have one order of rotational symmetry. This one, no, and now it back to its original position, and this will be another order of rotational symmetry. Therefore, this shape have two order of rotational symmetry. Moving on with example 11. 4 small squares are shaded in the diagram below. Shade in one more small squares to make a pattern with rotational symmetry order 4. Okay, 4 small squares are shaded in the diagram below. Shade in 4 more. Okay, 4 more small squares to make pattern with rotational symmetry order 4. Okay, one possible answer is here. Alright, now let us rotate this shape, and I will mark X here. Rotate here, and yes, we have one order of rotational symmetry. This one, 2 rotational symmetry. Here, 3 rotational symmetry, 3 order of rotational symmetry, and now here it back to its original position. So this shape have 4 order of rotational symmetry. Now, moving on with rotation. Okay. Moving on with rotation. Okay. A rotation is a transformation in which the object is rotated about a fixed point. Alright. Rotated is the keywords. Fixed point means the center of rotation. And then angle of rotation will be 90 degrees or 180 degrees. And the direction of rotation is very important. It can be clockwise or anti-clockwise for 90 degrees. For 180 degrees, it's just the same. It's either anti-clockwise or clockwise, the position still the same. Okay? And this will be the properties, the characteristic for rotation that you need to know before you start to rotate the object. Okay? Object means the original figure. Image means the figure that we rotated. Alright? And please remember this one. Direction, the center, and also the angle. Okay? And other than rotation, for your level, you will learn two another types of transformation. Okay? Two another type of transformation. Reflection and translation. Therefore, you will learn three types of transformation for your level. First is reflection. First is reflection. Second will be rotation, and third one will be translation. Okay, now as you can see, these three objects, these three pictures, the first pictures, the object is rotated 90 degrees clockwise. If it is clockwise, it will turn on this side, alright, and this will be the image we label as A prime, alright. Center of rotation, rotation of 180, and here will be the object, and this one is the image of B, we label as B prime. Okay, and this one anti-clockwise, or some resources called counterclockwise, they're still the same, right? And it must be against the flow of your time, your watch. Okay, moving anti-clockwise against the movement of your watch. Alright, this is how your image is here, C prime. Okay, moving on with example 12a. Draw and label the image quadrilateral A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime of the object ABCD under an anti-clockwise rotation of 90 degrees about the vertex D. Okay, so here the direction will be anti-clockwise. The angle of rotation will be 90 degrees and the center will be vertex D. Okay, now this one. I will show you a video that will demonstrate to you how this object rotated into this image. Okay, how this object rotated into this image. Okay, this is the object. Okay, object means the original shape. Object means this is the object. Okay, object means the original shape. Object means the original shape. And then you need to rotate this quadrilateral ABCD with anti-clockwise. Clockwise means you move to your left. Okay, the direction is anti-clockwise. And then angle is 90 degrees about the vertex D. So in here, the direction anti-clockwise angle 90 degrees and center will be vertex D. Okay, now we will start to rotate this quadrilateral. It is not D1, it is D prime. Okay, sorry for that. Center is here. This is our center. Okay, now when here is the center and here will be your D1. Okay, and then we move with C. We move with C. This is your C. And 90 degrees of your C anti-clockwise will be here. Okay, will be here. Now, if you're not clear with the line, you can underline your image here. You can draw your, not underline, you can draw a line. Okay, you can draw a line here to see where we going to put your C1, the image of C. Okay, but here it is so clear that your C is here. Okay, so vertex, again, it is not C1, it is C prime. 1, 2. Therefore, 1, 2. Here will be your C. C1. Okay, and then we move with A. Your A is here. We need to check the line 90 degrees, 90 degrees anti-clockwise, so your 90 is here. Okay, your 90 is here. And then you can take your ruler and do like this. If you still not clear, you can underline you can draw a line along this distance. Okay, or in other way, you can put your ruler like this, and you'll see this is L shape. Alright, and this L shape will be your perpendicular and 90 degrees. Okay, it is actually 90 degrees here. This is another way. If you can't see the line using protractor, you can use ruler and check for L shape perpendicular, and that perpendicular means 90 degrees. Okay, therefore, how to check for your image? You look here, 1, 2, 3. 3 move and 1, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1. The distance of your object and your image must be equidistant from your center. Okay, it means you need to have equal lengths here. Again, it is not A1, it is A prime. Between the object and the center, image and the center. Okay, so here will be your A1. And last one, B. Last one, B. And remember, every of your points, you need to rotate to your left hand side, anti-clockwise. Okay, so your B is here. If you can see the line, you can draw imaginary line, broken line here. Okay, so that easy for you to see. Okay, like this, and your B is here, the 90 degrees. Okay, then we check here. Here is your imaginary, here is your image for B. Sorry. See, and how to decide where to put your image for B? You look here, the distance from this B, the distance of this B from D, your center is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Your B should be here, your image of B. And don't forget to join all the points. Okay, don't forget to join all the points. And you should get your new shape like this. Okay, so this one will be the image. Okay, this one will be the image, the rotations of the object. Okay, you don't have to label object image like this. I label it here so that you're able to see which one is the object and which one is the image. Next one, example 12b. Draw and label the image quadrilateral A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime of the object ABCD under a rotation of 180 degrees about the vertex A. So here, the center will be vertex A and the angle of rotation will be 180. Alright, and there will be a video that will demonstrate how we going to get the image of this object, okay, through the rotations of 180 degrees about the vertex A. That's this quadrilateral ABCD under rotations of 180, and the center will be vertex A. Alright, and for 180 that's this quadrilateral ABCD under rotations of 180, and the center will be vertex A. Alright, and for 180 we are not again, it is not A1, it is A prime. Mentioning anti-clockwise or clockwise, okay? Because 180 means one straight line, right? So, if A is the vertex, that means your your image for A will be here, A1, okay? And then you need to move B, C, and D passing through that A, okay? So, for B here, 1, 2, 1. So 1, 2, 1. Your B is here. Okay. And C is straight here. 4 small square. It is not C1, it is C prime. From the center, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the image must be also 4 squares from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here will be your C1. And then lastly D. Okay. This is your D. Alright. Your D is somewhere here. Okay. So again, it is not D1, it is D prime. From center to get D, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 1. Here will be the D1. Okay. And don't forget to join all the points, all the points to form that image for this quadrilateral. Label means the alphabet A1, A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime, and the object A, B, C, and D. Not this object or this image, okay? Not the words object or the words image. In exam, you are not necessary to label here is the object, here is the image. Enough for you to label all the values here, the name of all the points A, B, C, D, and the image A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. Alright. Next, example 13. Draw and label the image triangle X prime, Y prime, Z prime of the object XYZ under clockwise rotations of 90 degrees about the vertex X. Okay, before you start to before you start to rotate, you need to get all the informations, all the properties of the rotation. Okay? First, you need to know the angle, that is 90 degrees, your center, that is vertex X, and your direction, that is clockwise. Okay? Now, this will be the object, and this will be the object, and we're going to rotate this object. Okay? Okay, for example 13, you need to draw and label image triangle XYZ under rotation, clockwise rotation, 90 degrees about vertex X. Okay? Again, it is not x1, y1, z1. It is x prime, y prime, and z prime. So we need to draw image x1, y1, z1. This one will be the object. Okay, the original shape is the object. And your angle will be 90 degrees. And the direction will be clockwise. And angle will be 90 degrees. Center will be vertex X. So vertex X here will be the center, and we need to rotate this triangle under a clockwise rotation. Okay, so clockwise rotation, this is your center, your Y, and everything is here, clockwise. Okay, now we start with Y. And then it should be somewhere here. Okay, it should be somewhere here. And take your ruler. Okay, here. Okay. Now, your Y, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So, your image of Y should be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. Again, it is not Y1, it is Y prime. Here will be your Y1. Next, Z. Z is easy because it's just straight like this. You can put your ruler just like this. Okay, because it is 90 degrees. 90 degrees is L shape. Just count how many small squares will be the distance of Z from the center. So here 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Here will be your Z1. And don't forget to underline, no, to join, yes, to join all the points, and like this. And now you already label, this will be the image of this triangle. Next, last example, example 14. Draw and label the image triangle x prime, y prime, z prime of the object xyz under a rotation of 180 degrees about the vertex z. Okay, so this video will show you how we're going to rotate the object x, y, z. For example 14, you need to draw and label image triangle x1, y1, z1 of the object. Okay. Again, it is not x1, y1, z1. It is x prime, y prime, and
For
z
example,
prime, the
14,
image of object xyz.
you need to draw and label image triangle T under a rotations of 180 about the vertex z. Okay, so the center will be vertex z. And for example 13, don't forget to label x1 here.
It's not x1, it is x prime. Okay.
Okay, sorry for that, I forgot that one. Now, we proceed with this example 14. The center is vertex z, and rotation angle 180 degrees. Okay, now your center is z, this one, so the image should be somewhere here. Okay, when your object x is here, that means the image will be here. Okay, so you just need to count number of small squares. Remember, the distance of object to the center and the distance of the image to the center must be equidistant. When I say equidistant, mean equal lengths. Okay, so 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Here will be your x1. Okay,
X prime. Okay, not x1, x prime.
okay, and this one 1 2 3, 1 2 3. So here y1,
Y prime, not y1.
and although vertex not although this vertex x is also that image of z1.
Again, it is not z1, it is z prime.
Okay, and join all the points. And now you are done. Okay, remember for rotation the shape remain the same. Okay, the shape remain the same. Alright, and in exam please circle or underline what the question want. Like here they want rotations. Okay, sometimes these questions it can be translation, right? It can be symmetry, line of symmetry. It can be reflection. So please read the questions carefully. Alright?
Okay, that will be the end for this rotational symmetry and rotation. If you still not clear with this lesson, you need to revise and you need to look again this video. Hopefully this video will help you to understand much better. Okay, now I will end our lesson for now. As usual, don't forget to complete your notes and your worksheet, and we will recite doa to end our session for today. Right? Thank you so much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Doa selepas belajar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma inni astaudi'uka ma 'allamtani fardudhu ilayya inda hajati ilaihi wala tansani ya rabbal alamin. Ya Allah, sesungguhnya aku menitipkan padamu ilmu-ilmu yang telah engkau ajarkan kepadaku, dan kembalikanlah kepadaku sewaktu aku memerlukannya kembali. Dan janganlah engkau lupakan aku kepada ilmu itu, wahai Tuhan yang memiliki semesta alam. Amin.